Hello, and welcome to the Black Mind podcast. My name is, Jeff. Joining me this week is Josh.
Yep.
Joining me this week also is Penis Brain, who is making us talk about American politics. Thank you, Penis Brain. That is your name now, Penis Brain.
Let me go to Art Canada so I can feel a little bit better about the politics.
I'm just going to draw a maple leaf. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a maple leaf.
Let's read what's on Art Canada here. No.
Take it away, Allan.
Nova Scotia orders over 30,000 kilograms of cannabis ahead of legalization. What?
That's a lot of cannabis, man.
That's a lot of
We
cannabis.
need more cannabis.
I don't think we need more cannabis.
Okay.
Too late. There's more.
Stop.
Let's make you go red. Okay. Well, go ahead.
All right.
Like, we're waiting on you to talk about politics and stuff like that.
Oh boy! So we all heard. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on here because the world of information that came out. What was it? Tuesday. With what was his name? Crowley? No. I don't remember his name. The guy who is like one of Trump's campaign guys, and there's the other campaign head who got hit with fraudulence too. Although the campaign head refused, kept saying that he was not guilty, doing the whole thing, and he only got charged with 8 out of 18 counts of fraudulence. The other guy took a plea bargain to say I'm guilty. And this is what happened and stuff like that. And I'm kind of like sitting here, and a lot of people are like, "Haha, lock him up." And I'm kind of like sitting there, like looking at the information that they've handed out, and I'm like, they actually don't have anything on him yet, because they're going because all the information they've got related to these guys from what I've seen is actually just straight up like a non-related issue towards Trump. However, I will not. I also will say that I won't be surprised if if they try to go after Trump at this point. But from what I've seen from like a guy who actually like works in courts called Pointed Commentary, he like looked at the information related to it, and he just straight up laughed and said, "They fucking fishing," is what he said, and I was like, really? So that's the reason why like I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Yeah. So fraudulence has been declared against 2 people related to Trump campaign. People are trying to get him for collusion with stuff like that, and people who study the courts are like actually like not really. They don't have anything on him yet. That's what I know. That's what I've seen. That's what I've read. Then again, I don't really trust any media nowadays. So like the reason why I trust the guy who's like they don't have anything on him is because he actually works in the court as a kind of like a like he reads like he works with court papers and stuff like that and study cases and stuff like that for the courts. But he yeah.
It's funny
Go ahead, Josh.
because It's funny because the only reason I care is because the United States is Canada's biggest trading partner. I really don't like Trump, and I'm going to say why is because I think that he's fucked us up. The only reason I like Trump is because if he puts the United States in a bad place, that's good for me.
How so?
Because if the United States fails epically and starts another recession, yes, it's bad for them and stuff like that. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Canadian economy all of a sudden goes through the roof.
No, it doesn't. It fucking crashes too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you, but because he's trying to rip apart NAFTA, and because he's basically done that, the Canadian economy is now a bit more flexible. So we'll actually be able to recover at the same rate the United States did. But when the American recession happened initially back in 2008, was it? That's when Obama first went into office?
It was.
Oh my God, Josh! I swear to fucking God, I will rip that mic out of your headset, and I will
so sorry.
break it.
It's just the fucking thing fell, and I can only hear out of one ear.
I like how
yeah,
Allan's just
sorry.
like going mad, and I'm like seeing you just like taking it.
No, that was a Jeff, because I'm like trying to explain it. And I'll just hear pap, 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 pap from the mic.
Yeah.
No,
Pap, pap, pap.
Yeah.
pap, pap, pap. But the thing is what I've noticed with what happened with our recession is our recession kicked in 2 years after the United States collapsed, and ours wasn't as bad because our economy was still tied close to the United States at the time, but we were a little bit more flexible with our economy. But the problem is Alberta's currently in a recession.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between then and now. Alberta back then, when the recession initially hit Canada, is that we weren't in a recession while the rest of Canada was, and the rest of the United States were. We were actually still like peaking out. We were starting to get to that point where we should probably have a recession soon. Now that we are in recession, I think we've been in recession for about 2 years now, 3, something like that.
Yeah.
Pretty much since just before the NDP got into power. And the NDP are trying their damnedest to get us out of the recession, and I don't blame them for it. We are in a recession, so if the U.S. government takes a hit in its recession, unless Alberta somehow recovers out of its recession right as the United States gets into theirs, Canada's economy will crash even harder than last time, actually probably worse. And that's something that I noticed when we initially went through that recession for us. And I don't disagree with you. If the United States fails, I think it would be a good thing for Canada as long as we can make it work.
I think that and like I also think that like we're going to see talking Canadian politics now because American politics sucks.
Oh boy. Yeah, no, they do.
I mean, this is American politics right now. If you want the general summary and stuff like that, it is. Trump shouldn't have won. Yeah, he shouldn't have. And it's like, well, like he shouldn't have won. So you agree with me? Yeah. It's funny. The best candidate who should have won was cheated out of the race.
Yeah.
And like everyone I say that to agrees. It's like
as much as I like Bernie Sanders, I don't think America needed a socialist.
I know, but
leader.
like if he had won,
out of the 3 possible candidates we had, which were being Trump, Hillary, and Bernie Sanders, I think Bernie was the best one. But when it came down to being between Hillary and Donald, it was Donald.
Yeah.
And actually, considering what Donald's done in the past 2 years, he's done way more than any president that I've ever seen in fucking 2 years. He's got North Korea and South Korea on talking terms, and there's summits coming up for that. They're on the best terms with Russia since fucking the end of the Cold War. The situation with Iran is probably the best it's ever gonna be because they're like backing up actual change in the country without forcing a major regime change through military force. They're stepping back from Syria, which is a good thing because that's Russia's ally. We shouldn't have anything to do with it. They've declared Jerusalem the capital of Israel. Although his wall is taking up time and stuff like that, he's looked at the states and gone, you know what? You guys may choose how you guys want to go about it. I will let you choose if you guys want to make a wall or not. And that's what he's doing because he knew he would never get it through Congress. And the number of states that are actually putting it up are actually surprising because I think it's Texas, Nevada, and I think California is the only one that has it. But like apparently, like Nevada's prepared to go right around California. The economy is in a great upturn. The U.S. GDP is up by 4.1% from last year, and last year was up by 2.5. So it's just an exponential growth at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But mind you, there's also the catch of there's more political divisiveness in the states. Bipartisanism is ever constant. Oh boy, there's communists actually like fighting in the streets with actual Nazis.
Yeah, there are things that we could go without and stuff like that, but like on a normal note and stuff like that, it's like by all accounts and stuff like that, the United States is pretty fine and stuff like that right now.
It's actually doing phenomenally well, actually.
Anyways, I am almost done my maple leaf.
No, stop that. Stop drawing.
I like drawing, Allan.
Draw 51 stars.
Fuck you.
In a blue square.
Fuck you, I'm Canadian, bitch.
What the fuck? God damn it, Josh!
Perfect. Great timing.
Good. Segue.
Yes.
Segue. Hey, Josh.
Yeah?
Josh, oh my God, I swear to God. Oh, there are going to be a lot of people who are going to die.
Oh, hold on. I found...
What did you find at a garage sale? Oh,
so
boy.
I went to... So there was a couple of... I was coming home from work. I was like, man, work's shit. I hated it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, wait, there's a garage sale, like, super close to my house. Like, super close. I was like, I could go to this garage sale and maybe I could find something good. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll go to it. So I parked my car at my house, walked all the way back to the garage sale to see if I could find anything neat. And lo and behold, I found a keyboard, and by keyboard I mean piano. It's a synthesizer from the 80s, and the one thing that won me over was the price, and I could do this.
Oh my God.
I love you. That is the best thing about that thing.
I was randomly hitting buttons on it. I was like, does this thing still work? And like, oh yeah, it totally does. And I was like, oh, water drop. Let's see what water drop does.
And you're like, isn't that the 3DS startup sound?
No, that's the original Game Boy.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm looking at this going like, what sound chip did they use in this goddamn thing? Because I'm like, it sounds pretty similar, if not close to what it is. So I was like, cool. I can just stick with it and...
I really now want that in podcast studio, if we ever get podcast studio.
Oh my God. No, to jump on Josh's cool garage sale, or / yard sale, because mine was from a yard sale. There wasn't a garage there. I'm going over to pick up Kim with Chris, and Kim said that my neighbors are having a yard sale, and I like my friends. Christina was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna totally check it out, and I'm like, well, we're picking up Chris, then we'll go grab food, and then we'll go do something at somebody's place. Or we'll go see a movie or something like that. And as we're pulling up, I'm just like, oh, look, it's this yard sale. And I could just see this wall of clothes. And I'm just like, wow, look at that. They're selling old clothing instead of just taking it to the clothing dumps by the most food stores and stuff like that. And then I see a rack of jerseys, and in the front rack of this jersey that's facing the road is an Ottawa Senators jersey, and I'm like, mine. And Christina was like, what? And I'm like, mine. And I got out of the car, put it in park after putting it in park and stuff like that.
No, you tucked and rolled.
You just got out of the car. You left Christine in the car.
Oh, car! I just jumped out and tumbled. I came across the street, and the owner looked up and she smiled. He's like, I know what you're after. I'm like, yeah. And then I looked at it. She's like, oh, by the way, since it's getting close to end day, I'll give it to you for $25. And I was like, fucking done, because it's an official NHL jersey too, so it's like top quality.
Ooh.
So instead of paying $120 for an Ottawa Senators jersey, I paid $25, and I'm like, this is a great deal.
So, yeah.
And what makes it even better is it's Heatley's jersey.
Oh.
And Jeff and Josh know my last name. And it's pretty funny considering how it's spelled. And I'll put it in a chat so I don't say it online. But
it's gonna be pretty close. Oh.
Yeah.
So we need to. What we need to do is we just need to grab a certain letter that's Velcro and put it on there.
I wish. That's what my dad said. Is like you're missing the letter, and I'm like, yeah, I know.
See, my last name is like an generic action hero name. So.
It's very much at like when you told me your last name, I was like, that can't be real. And he's like, no, that's real.
No, this is real.
Oh.
What is your? What? Actually, type it in chat. What's your last name?
You're gonna be like, oh, this explains a lot of like how you act and stuff like that.
Wow! Wow! Yeah, that is surprisingly generic.
And my last name is weird, but people use this the one letter less in religious terms.
Yeah.
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 Like here's the
So,
thing.
like,
Wait, how? What letter do you remove? S?
The S.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get me. I don't know how that's used in religious terms.
It's gonna be funny when like
it's more of like the flowery language that would use. That type of shit.
You're using it as a descriptor. Okay, that's what I mean.
It's gonna be funny when like we have to do interviews and they're gonna be like Jeff blank, and I'm gonna be like yeah, that's my actual last name. It's gonna be 5 minutes of being like that can't be your name. It's like no, it is.
It
play it up. You play it up real hard.
Sense considering your user handle now. That's actually pretty funny.
So my user handle, to explain it to people and stuff like that, is I was on a football team called the Eagles. So like people were like it was one of the best things I ever did and stuff like that. It was one of my favorite years of playing football and stuff like that. So I just went with the name and stuff like that. And so before I was the Eagle 123, then I became Fighter Eagle, and everyone started calling me Fighter Regal. And then I have this name, which is my favorite.
Oh, which is great. I actually straight up love
Everyone's
it.
like,
now that I know your last name, it works fucking perfectly.
Yeah.
And freaking my username is just, I was spending a day at my house going like, man, what shitty usernames could I think for myself for randomly slapping on websites and stuff like that? And I was like, noun, adjective. Gorilla House Party. Perfect.
great name.
It's like a band name almost.
That should be in the name of the studio.
Where are you going to? The Gorilla House Party? Oh, fuck.
That should be a name of a YouTube show, The Gorilla House Party.
It's like, it's like a descriptor or like a slang term where you're going to a party that's like real hardcore. It's like, oh, this party's could be a fucking Gorilla House Party, if you know what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? That sounds like something that like somebody would say like when they're going to an orgy.
Oh my god.
This party's gonna be a real Gorilla
hardcore
House Party, if you catch my drift.
I'm going to this cool house party, if you catch my drift. Oh my god. That works too, and I'm a little disappointed that I didn't think about that myself.
Hey, I'm done the maple leaf.
Oh
boy.
That's good. Here, let me put this on popcorn and see what it sounds like.
It's not that actually. Okay. No, stop.
Oh. What about
I
ghosts? Ghost sounds interesting.
Ooh.
Oh!
Ooh.
I like how we all snapped up and attention to that one. That's actually a nice sounding one.
I want this hooked up to your computer now.
The dumb thing is, there's only an out on this, and it's auxiliary, so I think I can get some, but it's gonna be weird.
We're gonna have to like do some hardcore work to Josh's computer. This is gonna be needed to be live streamed. Get the angle
just find another port
brother.
somewhere on my computer.
Anyways,
and also
bless the
I found machine gun.
Spirit that is.
Oh, okay. I can hear the differences, but they're really subtle. It's in the background.
Yeah,
it's the different. It's legit like the difference in caliber, and it literally means nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right. Well, I'll just turn this off.
Because if there's actually like if you ever went to, if actually I want to hear the deep end for the machine gun, but you put it away now. Never mind.
Oh wait, here. Oh, hold on. It's like 4 feet away. Turn it back on. And then machine gun was 98.
Go with the lowest key.
That's like the lowest.
So then never mind.
All right.
If it actually had been like I would have been like, see, there's an impressive caliber, but that doesn't. It doesn't. It just does the same sound all over.
Yeah, it's super. It's just like I think I fiddled with this when I first bought it, and I was listening to the machine gun. And I was like, oh, you can hear a difference, but it's subtle. It's real subtle.
It's a little thing.
Yeah, it's a little thing. Well,
what did you just do?
that was wave.
I want nothing to do with that.
Me neither.
We're at a beach,
Like how I
boys.
want nothing to do with the RX2 series of graphics cards.
Well, let's talk about it on the beach.
Yeah, let's talk about the Nvidia RX GPUs that nobody should buy, for fuck's sakes. Especially pre-order.
How bad are they?
What happened?
Okay, so Nvidia announced their new graphics cards and stuff like that. No issue there and stuff like that. But they were really pushing ray tracing and stuff like that, so it doesn't seem like performance went up a whole lot. Honestly, in my personal opinion, if you're building a render machine and something like that, then I would consider buying a newer graphics card and stuff like that. Or if you just have boatloads of money that you want to throw away, go right ahead. The major thing that happened, though, was... So ray tracing was the big thing that they were pushing on. We got a new cooler and stuff like that. And it seems like they're all in all an improvement over the Polaris GPUs and stuff like that. Which, full disclosure, I own and stuff like that.
Yep.
But the new cooler is a dual axial cooler, so that's cool. The performance doesn't seem to be there. And it also seems to be very steep of a price jump from previous graphics cards and stuff like that. So, like, I'll explain it right now by going to NVIDIA's website and stuff like that. The where is it? Shop. I want GPUs. Yes, I want GeForce graphics cards. So an RX 280 is $800 American. The 270 is $600, and the 280 Ti is, I believe, $1,200. They do have NVMe Link now, so for people who don't know, NVLink is basically where you can combine two GPUs together. It's their higher end version of SLI, so that's cool, I guess. It's for somebody like me, it would be useful who likes having multiple GPUs in the system because I think it looks cooler. But for most people, you wouldn't need it.
Not it looks cooler, not because you're like, oh, I'm going to be doing some intensive visual bullshit, not on dual monitors or something.
Like yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Like for somebody like you, I would say like, oh, you might want to get two GPUs, just because. But like,
because if you have like a grand to dump on it.
But like for me and stuff like that, it's like, oh, like I do 3D modeling and I do stuff like that. That wouldn't be a big deal. It's all in all disappointing. It seems. It doesn't seem like the performance is there. It seems like they went way too hard into ray tracing and stuff like that. There's a Berserk meme where it's like Berserk on hiatus and stuff like that, and Berserk off hiatus, and it's the most glorious thing. That's kind of what it seemed like and stuff like that, where people were very antsy and they were tired of waiting, and then this announcement happened and everyone was super excited. There was a guy sitting there saying that he wanted to sell both of his 1080 Ti's just to get a 280 Ti, and it's like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't pre-order, bud, and maybe you shouldn't do that, bud, just out of like common sense. But
actually, what makes it even funner for me is like with certain things for pre-orders. Like I'll pre-order a video game if I study the background of the video games, but I don't see the point in pre-ordering parts.
I could understand something like, oh, well, you want to be the first in line and stuff like that. I could understand pre-ordering a processor.
That I can agree
I
with.
can understand,
That I can understand.
pre-ordering a motherboard. Like if Acer sat there and said, "Hey, we're putting out a ROG Maximus 18 formula, and it has these MOSFETs, this stuff, and this, and it's basically a general improvement on your ROG Maximus 8 formula already," I would totally sit there and go like, "Yeah, fuck it, give me one of those." A graphics card, no, like I don't see the point of that, and it's just because it's like it's not even a reference; it's a reference design. So it's like, okay, already you're not getting the best performance.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like
Actually, what's even more frustrating for me is actually just straight up like he got burned, and that's the thing with this guy who's like trying to sell this stuff. He got burned pretty bad, and you know what? Shit, it sucks, man. It really does.
well, like
but the stiflance is you fucking pre-ordered a part that you didn't know the specs to, and you didn't know how it ran.
Yeah.
What's fucking wrong with you?
it's stuff like where it's to me it just seemed like it was excessive in a way where it's like, why would you do that? And I'm not trying to be mean and stuff like that. Like Josh, like I think honestly, like here's an honest question for you, Josh. When you buy a graphics card, do you buy the reference or do you buy normally like an offhand, off the shelf, third party cooler design?
I get the one that the guy said that the guy at the desk I asked, go, "Hey, what's like the strongest one you can get?" This one. Okay, what's second best? This one. Okay, I'll get that one. Exactly the question I say.
Do you want to know the truth about most of those things?
Is that they're all the same?
No, it's like when you look at the reference designs versus the new reference designs are usually worse overall. And like I find that this design and stuff like that is cool and stuff like that. I find that it's really interesting. It just makes me more concerned, and it makes me more like curious to know like, okay, if RTX or ray tracing is only the major thing that I have to worry about, that's different between my Polaris graphics card and my 1080, 280 Ti and stuff like that. A feature, by the way, that most people are probably going to turn off when they boot up the game. That makes me feel a little bit better. I don't hope that, because that would actually probably make me very angry. Just as a consumer.
Yep.
Like,
I can believe that.
It's like, okay, why would I buy your, like, honestly, like right now, and I said this when like they announced it. It's like, oh, I got 2 years out of my 1080. I would be happy. I would move it to the server and retire my 280X. And then what I would do is I'd probably pick up a 280 Ti if the prices drop. And then the next year I would buy another one just because, NVM Link. That's a really cool feature. And like that's kind of what I'm hoping doesn't happen and stuff like that. Like the major thing I think that probably is going to happen is prices are going to drop down more over time. So
maybe.
Yeah.
That's actually like a really big maybe with how that's going on. Actually, what I find with this, like, for me, I actually tend to get like when I initially got my PC back in.
Well, you got to build one, bud.
2000. Yeah, I got my built scratch builds and stuff like that, and
you built a new. You got to build a new one, bud.
No, I don't. Not right now. I took my CPUs in 2 years ago. My tower and stuff like that, and they're like, yeah, your fucking like main processor and your motherboard are good for at least another 2 years.
Okay.
Like there's like, and that was a 4-year-old motherboard, and I'm like, and they're like, yeah, the only thing you need to do update is your graphics card, and I'm like, update it right now, and they're like, okay, oh, here's some extra RAM, and I'm like, sweet.
Okay.
and that was how that went. I actually just added another fucking hard drive at the same time because I was like, I'm just gonna throw some extra money in this, and they're like, okay.
The other thing about this GPU and stuff like that is it has a monstrous VRM.
Oh.
So for overclockers, hey, The reference GPUs have a monster VRM, so that probably means that the PCBs are probably not going to change very much between design to design. There might be more improved PCBs and stuff like that. Like the ROG one is probably going to be fucking insane. But like, yeah, like the monstrous VRM and stuff like that seems really cool. But I do want to sit here and I want to yell at somebody in particular. So I'm going to read the headline of this article. Just buy it. Why the Nvidia Rtx GPUs are worth the money. And nobody says anything.
Yeah.
New technology usually gets cheaper if you wait long enough. So inevitably, when the game-changing components devices hit the market, many will urge you to stay away until prices drop or standards get wider adoption. That's why this week, so many users, including our own Derek Forrest, as an advertised shopper, to hold off on buying a new RTX GPU. However, these prices pancaked pundits don't understand that there's a value of getting an early adopter, the cost of either delaying your purchase or getting an older generation product, so you save money while you don't have the final benchmarking results. The new features and either enhanced performance of a touring card make them worth buying now, even at sky-high prices.
Yeah. Boy.
The real cost of outdated technology. Let's say you're building a new system and planning a major upgrade that you needed to buy a new video card this fall. You could buy the last generation 1080 Ti for $526. Pretty good deal if you ask me. That's a really nice deal. If you do, you won't be able to take advantage of the key RTX features like real-time ray tracing and great 4K gaming performance until you upgrade next year. Unless you're planning to upgrade your GPU every year, you're going to stuck with technology that looks much more out of date in 2019 and 2020 than it does in 2018. Unless you're are only 11 announced games that support ray tracing and 16 that are supporting DLSS. That's another thing they mentioned. DLSS. That's like super sampling for like GPUs and stuff like that, so you can play games in 4K more often. But there are a lot more many months ahead of you and years ahead. You don't want to put yourself behind the curve. This is the best part. When your whole life flashes before your eyes, how much do you want to have with ray tracing and without ray tracing? Like what? Dude, really? What the fuck? I don't think that this guy understands the reason why so many people are like, what the fuck, honestly. Because it's like, no, it doesn't seem like the performance is there, and people shouldn't pre-order GPUs. Like, yeah, like, that's it. Okay. Anyways, speaking of hardware upgrades and stuff like that, I got a new monitor. You can draw.
Wait, another new monitor?
I got a new monitor. It's shiny.
I know for a fact that you got a new monitor. What was it, last year?
No.
No, was it the year before?
It was this year.
Did you get an? Oh, you got two this year?
No, I only got one this year.
No. Jeff, what I'm saying is, didn't you recently get another new monitor before this one?
No. I was debating about getting a new monitor, and then I decided against it.
That's okay. That's why. Okay.
So I got a pen display.
Oh,
and Josh is mad. Or jealous.
Whatever. I'm indifferent.
You don't care.
I mean, I will eventually probably get a monitor too, but as for right now, I don't have a fucking space, and I just want the tech to be a little bit better so I don't have to charge my pen. That's all I want. Yeah, that seems like the biggest downside of this one and stuff like that. Honestly, my personal opinion and stuff like that, I love it. It's a great monitor and stuff like that. It came with the screen protectors applied and stuff like that. I did have to remove that. There was a few complaints I have and stuff like that. Like, the monitor's color seems to be off. That would be that'd be like a tone adjustment though.
for
and
that
stuff
one.
like that. Oh, the box.
And that is actually something you have. That is something you actually just have to
Yeah.
adjust for.
So that's something I kind of want to get more money I have to spend on it. It came with a really stupid short HDMI cable, and it's a really good monitor. It feels really nice. It came with 2 pens, so there's positive right there. The one major thing I don't like about it was the drivers are a bitch, and
I would recommend that you tried with no drivers and see how far you can get with
I
that.
did, and it broke
'Cause-
immediately.
Oh,
Yeah.
did it?
It was,
Perfect. But
yeah. I even
I was gonna. Well, you go.
I even installed the other drivers that came with it, and then it was like nope, and then I realized I had to install the drivers that came on the disc.
Huh? Because what I did for my tablet is I just went straight to the website. Because anytime you're installing hardware, there's always gonna be a better hardware revision of it online. Most part, anyways. And yeah, like once I installed my driver from the website, I think it was like, what was it? XP Pen, XP. I think it's XP Pen. Yeah, XP Pen. Once I got it from the website and figured out how like where it's installed and stuff like that, because it's actually quite classic of how you install it. It just you install it, you tell it where to install, and then the computer's like, all right, it's installed, and you're like, you're not gonna boot up or anything? Nah. Or do I have to restart? I'm not gonna tell you. Wow, this is classic. Okay, so you just figure it out from there. Like just a little more programming from or more UI fixing from developer, I guess, or just a little more, I don't know, like just like more user friendliness within the freaking your own software would go a long way. But whatever, it works on my end, so that's fine.
Like, the major thing I don't care for about this thing is like, you're right, the drivers were terrible and stuff like that, and then once I got them installed, it worked fine. The funniest thing about it and stuff like that is like, I've never had a dual monitor setup before. I had that at school and stuff like that, and honestly, let me tell you what I used it for. Is I would have Giant Bomb streaming on one thing when Giant Bomb was good, of course, because when I was a premium member, I've since unsubscribed. Okay, like we're not getting into that because like
No. I just get a giggle out of that. Back when Giant Bomb was good, like you sound so offended over that. Oh, I love it.
Giant Bomb, in my personal opinion.
Stop. We're not talking about it. I'm just getting a chuckle.
Okay, but like honestly, like I would have Giant Bomb. I would watch Pepper's Class's stupid live stream of him playing Spelunky, which was great. And I would have 3D Max on that screen as well. And then I would have Unity, and then I would have my Photoshop on this screen and stuff like that. And it was great. It was fantastic. I loved it. And I then conveniently did not have that at home, and it was terrible, and I hated it. I was very sad. And I remember when I had one monitor, I would be called the one monitor peasant. And it was very hurtful, and it sucked, and it made me...
Every time you came home, you're like...
I would boot up the game, and my friend would sit there and be like, you're such a one monitor peasant. I'm so epic with me and my 2 monitors. And I would just say, like, well, clearly you're compensating for something. It was really funny when I bought the Mustang and I was so happy. He goes like, well, clearly you're compensating. I was like, you fuck. But yeah, like now I have 2 monitors and stuff like that, and it just feels so nice. This feels really nice.
Nice.
This thing even has like its own stand. It comes with a stand and a base mount. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm gonna say the cost of it, and everyone's gonna go like, "Oh, that makes sense of why you bought it," and stuff like that. So I bought it on Newegg because Newegg's the best place to buy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Newegg was you're on 220. So, okay, I got mine on sale. I got mine for about $490. The monitor I got is $679.15 on Newegg.com. Okay,
Okay.
I got mine for like a really good deal. Now let's check Amazon because Amazon was really funny.
Oh,
Turns out to be way
no.
cheaper. Because that's where I bought it for. Where I bought mine,
Okay, let's guess
actually.
percentage.
20% cheaper?
Nope.
How much?
30% cheaper.
It is $800.
So
It
wait,
is
wait, what's the original?
$800. I got mine for $490.
You saved you saved 100% compared to Amazon.
I saved close to about 90%. So
Damn.
yeah, like
Good job.
yeah, I feel like I won something here. I feel like I deserve a high five. You know, it doesn't make me feel any less of an asshole, but you know what? I feel really good about myself, guys. So yeah, I won one. Hooray! And yeah, I drew a maple leaf on my monitor. It's great. It's gonna be funny when Josh gets like a third wake up, and I'm just gonna be like,
Honestly, the third-party stuff feels and works so well that I would probably still keep going with third-party stuff because it's like they would have to fail so hard just if to make their shit not work, and it's like people are just gonna return it or use their returning guarantee type of thing so they can get their money back. Like they would have to actively try hard to fail. So I kind of feel comfortable that they're actively going to try hard to make it work.
And it just feels like super good and stuff like that. Kind of like how our next topic is going to be about Siege, which also feels super good. Josh, you played Siege.
Yes. Oh boy, I did. And it seems like I'm going through a kick of like, oh, let's play the games that everyone else is playing. Let's see what people like about them. And I'm like, I can get the appeal, but Jesus, I can't handle it.
You're coming into a game that is incredibly heavily established now after what 3 years of being out. I think it is.
Yeah, too.
That's the thing is like the player community that's left in it, and it's like it's not that I don't think the game is not bad. It's actually pretty fun. It's fairly solid. There isn't any like major game breaking glitches in the game, like battlegrounds and stuff like that. Shots fired. But with Rainbow Six Siege, it is like it's an established game. When did it initially come out? Fuck off. Fuck off, goddammit. You know what my age is. Stop fucking resetting, you son of a bitch.
What are you talking about?
Steam. I'm like
no, it does. No, you have to be a new person.
No. It released just under 3 years ago. So it's an incredibly established game that's been developing. Meta doesn't really change because they're like you see like certain play styles and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's
a game that, well, to put it bluntly, is a very established and very tight-knit style of community. Not that it's a bad thing. That actually makes it when you actually like start to get stuff and like understand what you need to know for the game, you just kind of like click in.
Yeah, for the most part, I think my problems with it is more of the just recognizing where things are in each level and where to go and where you should put something and where you should set it up.
That just takes
yeah, this takes time and effort into like just recognizing what the layout is and stuff like that. Because as for right now, I found certain characters I like because they're very A, vanilla, or B, it's like, well, I don't have to think very hard. I just have to just place something here and people will enjoy my benefit because it's right there. It's stuff like
So you like playing Rook?
yeah, like, or the guy that puts down.
I think that's Rook.
Or is that the guy who puts down the shields?
No, I'm thinking about the guy who puts down body armor. I think that's Rook.
Or yeah, the body armor. I mean, and there's also the guy who puts down a shield. There's also a guy who puts down a goddamn turret, which it's great, but it's not a
Tachanka.
Yeah, pretty much.
U.S. spy is not worth your time.
Like, just put down the goddamn turret and let other people play with your turret. It's fine.
Actually, no, he is the only person you can. I think even though he's not the only person who can use it, because of how his class is set up, he is probably the best person to use it.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact that like as you can level up his gun, his like turret that you just plop down can be increased to have like front bulletproof glass in front of the gun so he can't be fucking headshot. So you pair him up with somebody who just takes like a defensive barricade and plops up in front of him, crawls over, he crawls over into it, puts the gun down, and you're like, come at me, bro. You're like, other than a grenade, how you to stop me? And then they just throw a grenade
Pretty
at
much.
you.
Or a flashbang, and you're like, oh, just keep shooting, keep shooting. And another thing with the game is like I just gotta recognize where people are gonna hide in the corners, because I fucking keep forgetting it's not a game of run and shoot, it's a game of hide and shoot. It's you hide real hard.
You hide.
In fact, I
they
would
shoot.
yeah, exactly. So basically, I would classify the Rainbow Six Siege as paintball shooter. It's straight up paintball shooter. You can hit once.
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah, you can-
No. That's not true, and you know it.
Well,
okay.
There's some health and defense that you can have, so you can stand a little longer.
The thing is
but
well, no.
for the most-
all headshots in that game, every headshot is an instant kill, or an instant down. And for the most part, but because of how like damage is dealt in that game, downs are rare. Headshots are incredibly common because nobody shoots from the hip. Nobody shoots from the hip in that game, because if you do, it's a waste of ammo. And every bullet counts because you have such limited ammo, because you can't pick up ammo off dead enemies. You can't go back outside the base if you're attacked and pick up ammo. If you're defending, you've got limited ammo. So every round counts. So that's the reason why like everybody's so like good at fucking like they'll burst shot. They like actually I've noticed when I watch somebody who Bowtime Gaming, who whenever he would play, I noticed that like a lot of people are like just like, holy shit, dude, like so controlled about their shots. Like it's like with a fully automatic submachine gun, they'll click the trigger once, they'll fire off a burst of like 3 or 4 shots, and they're that controlled with their ammo that it's just like, what are you doing? Teach me, senpai, show me your ways. And then they don't, and they just keep going on. But that's the thing that I notice is like it's about trigger discipline. It's about understanding like the maps and how people will play. It's about like what kind of champions are going to be going up against, which ones are common for each map. Like a good example, the fucking Brazilian son of a bitch who just like runs up to someone, stabs them, gets intel for a second of like what your team is and where they are for a second.
Well, like,
but you have to down someone with that. You have to down someone with that and then get the information off them. You can't just like run up to them and just interrogate them. Fuck, when she was introduced, I remember like how many people were like, "Oh my god, she's terrifying."
She's absolutely terrifying. Like, she's one of the best people in the game and stuff like that for like just roaming.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting because it's like, wow.
The Canadian defense character is also good for roaming because you plop down your fucking bear traps and you can just fucking roam.
Yeah, bear traps are pretty good.
Like a lot of defense characters actually have like a lot. About half the defense characters are good for roaming. The other half are good for just stationary play.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like when you look at offense, all of them have to be mobile, but they're mobile in different ways. Like the two shield guys, they have to be moving with someone.
Yeah.
And they have to be on point. They can't be second line characters like Ash is. Ash is not a frontline character. She's supposed to be like behind
Are you
the
kidding
shield
me?
guy.
Ash doesn't have a
Pop her grenade.
hitbox.
Well, that's because everybody's fucking. Because Ash is such a small character. Has much. So, oh god, I remember when Ash they tried to fix Ash and they need to fix her hitbox. That's all they need to do with her.
Don't they need to do
yeah,
more?
no,
I think they need to do more.
Not really.
I believe they need to do more.
I know you believe they need to do more, but they really don't.
Anyways, yeah, you assisted in me dying.
You assisted in killing me.
Yep,
Yeah.
sure did.
Anyways, we got a few more topics. I have light level 400 armor in Destiny now. And I'm ashamed of myself because I have light level 400 armor in Destiny. And I feel so good about myself.
So you're just a little bit better than other
No,
people.
I'm just better than other people.
Oh, you're a whole better than
I am
other
a
people.
whole. I'm a 50 points light level better than people now. Nice.
So you're like 50% percentile, and now you're like to the getting upper echelons of 55% percentile.
Pretty much. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I. That was a good event. It felt really good. I think that it did a lot for the community. It made me feel better and stuff like that, and it fit Destiny style a lot more. The one thing I wish that they did was I wish that they didn't make it like so hard, but at the end of the day, I understand why they did it because it felt like I was like bashing my head against a wall. So, yeah. And Allan, you have a WoW lore kicks because of Jaina. Speaking of MMOs,
Okay, so last week, and this was on Saturday night, literally after we did the podcast. I was talking with some friends who plays World of Warcraft, and stuff like that. And they were talking about the new expansion of being the Battle of Azeroth, and they were talking about the Warbringer videos, which are really cool. And I'm going to link you guys the Jaina one here in a second. And it's like a solid 10 out of 10. Where is the chat? There it is. And I'm watching it because I've played Warcraft 3, but way back in the day when it initially started. And at the end of Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne, there was a little side campaign where you played at the orc founding of Durotan, which is the nation they found, and you fight against Jaina Proudmoore's father, Darian Proudmoore, who's the Grand Admiral of this country. And like as a result, her country where she's born from hates her, and the song in the video is basically like what they think of her. And so I got on the kick, and I'm like, well, okay, why does Jaina have silver hair? What happened? What's going on with the orcs and stuff like that? And so, like, why is she, like, so prepared to go to war? Because last time I remember looking at Jaina, which was, again, Warcraft 3, Frozen Throne, she was, like, the most staunch defender for, like, no, we want peace. We don't want to go to another war because it's, like, it's brutal. It's hard on everyone. It's not – and it's just completely unjust. And then I explained that lore, and then I got into the kick of like Sylvana's lore, and then I got into the kick of Gen Greymane, and then Showerfang, and I've just been down this rabbit hole for like the past like week, and I hate myself. And it's all because of this fucking the music from this video, where it starts off with "Beware, beware of the daughter of the sea," and I'm like, I didn't know that was Jaina's title. And now I hate myself because I want to get into World of Warcraft and play this game.
You should.
Fucking goddamn it. Do you play it? Then don't suggest you should.
Could be worse.
I already have like 4 people who are like, you should get in the game, and I'm like, okay, how many of you play Alliance? And then none of them say anything, so I know I can't get into the game with them.
You totally could. You just need to play Horde.
No, Horde is for the Horde is just no. I'm good. I'll play Alliance over anything else. But the thing is like I found out so much really cool lore, and they released a new video today for the World of Warcraft series. Again, it's another Warbringer one, which is actually like the Queen Azurak, Azurshra. I think that's how you say it. I can't remember.
Queen something.
But and like her entire situation is, it's actually like fucking dark, man. Like, again, it's another really cool video, and I'm like, if this is the lore for the current Warcraft and stuff like that, I'm like, wow, dude, that's amazing. Oh, it's so cool, and at the same time, I'm just like, this hurts me because I don't play this game.
Wild Wars.
At the same time, don't goblins just ride motorbikes?
Yeah, they do.
Goblins are the equivalent to the gnomes, I think, and I actually don't know all the horde the races.
And then there's the pandas. And
I know. Actually, pandas are pretty fucking funny.
The pandas are like the best expansion by far.
Because they're pandas.
And what makes them really funny about the pandas is the fact that they are essentially they're basically like the only neutral faction that you can just choose which side you're on. But a lot of people, like, the way that they're like written up and like done up in the series is actually fucking phenomenal, because they're like, we're monks, what do you expect? And it's just like, oh okay. So you just kind of get like, you gotta just get used to like a lot of certain things, and you're just like, huh.
I just like the monks because they're crazy.
Oh, it's fucking great, because it's just and I'm just trying to remember, where is it? Because for the Alliance there is, well, technically there's a Pandaren, but there's, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 per race, with the 7th being Pandaren, and it's actually pretty cool because it's just like, and they're actually apparently putting in new races for Battle of Azeroth, which are like the new ones, waiting the Dark Iron Dwarves and the Lightforged Draenari and the Void Elves, and then there's of course the High Mountain Tauren, Maghar Orcs, and Nightborn, which are just like for the Horde. And I'm just like, this is so cool. I don't want to get into this game because I don't know if I'll be able to get myself out of it. But like, the more I look at it, and I go, just like, holy shit! Like, they've been gotten so good at their like writing style and stuff like that, and it's just like, oh man, it's so cool. 10 out of 10. Would play game.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. You like WoW lore? You would wish they make another RTS, so that way then you could have that. I actually, if Blizzard made a Warcraft RTS game again, yeah, it would make you happy.
It would make me happy, because then I could see like what Worgens are like, and what the goblins are like for the. Actually, goblins were way back in Warcraft 1, 2, 3,
yeah,
and stuff like that. They were just like they were just like background characters that like they never put into for either any faction.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh look, the goblin shipyards. You're like, oh cool. That's a goblin shipyard.
Anyways,
and that was technically the same with like, technically the well, not really,
okay.
But yeah, no, like, yeah, I just huge lore kick, and I found out so much cool stuff about like,
wow,
Warcraft, and I'm like, wow.
Anyways,
this is a deep hole.
Anyways, we got 2 more topics and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
we
we
got
do.
Crunchyroll, which is fantastic.
Oh,
Wait, hold on. Okay, that's
Yes.
that was really quiet, actually.
Oh, here, let me crank it. There. That's
Okay.
Crunchyroll.
There we go. We're on Crunchyroll.
Okay, Crunchyroll is doing something stupid.
Crunchyroll's doing a lot of things stupid.
I think that I'm just going to point to the Digibro video. Because
Actually, my favorite thing was I didn't even know Crunchyroll was doing a new anime series, and I was like, "Oh, they're doing their own anime series. That's awesome!" And then I saw what the anime series looked like, and I was like, "Crunchyroll, you lied to me."
it's weird because it's like, man, Crunchyroll, why are you doing these things? And then you realize, oh wait, they're doing them because of money. That makes sense.
Well, they are, but at the same time, like they're doing it so poorly.
It's
like. For me, when I looked at Crunchyroll being like, we got a new anime, and I looked at I didn't even watch the trailer, I just looked at the image that they had posted online for it, and I'm like, that's a bean mouth. And that's when I realized that's Caltech art. And that's when I realized I want nothing to do with it. What makes it even worse is that new anime they're coming out was originally a Tumblr comic.
yeah, of course it was.
And all the writing staff is nothing but women.
Okay. That can be good.
I mean, are they
because
good at writing?
Iron Blood Orphans was written by a Japanese woman, and it's probably one of my favorite animes.
You know what? You know what's the problem with that though? It's a Japanese woman, and it's a woman. It's not women. It's a woman.
Are they good at writing?
And given how like the Japanese have like a fantastic track record with anything that happens with their women, it's just like. But the thing is, with Japanese women, it's either it's loved or it's fucking hated. But like, because Japanese women are apparently like the paragon that every woman should attempt to match, being both the best wives and the worst of wives.
What are you saying, Allan? Here, that sounds like you're going to go racist.
I'm saying,
are you
It
saying
sounds like you're going to go full like Jeff has to edit the show mode.
no,
sounds like
stop.
it sounds like you're going full neckbeard on me. Are you going full neckbeard? Are you changing into the Wolverine that is the neckbeard?
Invest in the they only take your money and no. I like the thing is that's what I've noticed with like whenever you hear like people like that's what I've noticed whenever people talk about like about essentially Japanese women or like Asian women.
Okay, yeah.
They are like the best thing in the world, or they are the worst thing in the world. But then again, my experience with them is entirely colored by the fact that I'm from North America. Just a heads up, we look at Asian women, we go, boy,
that's definitely Asia.
Boy,
we shake our finger at them and go, you silly brat.
No, we don't even shake our finger at them. We go, that's some nice Asian.
That's a nice Asian.
I could go for Chinese food tonight, boys.
Anyways,
you guys eat cat? I'm up for eating cat.
Anyways,
back on Crunchyroll. But the thing is like because I just watched the Crunchyroll video that Digibro did just now because Jeff linked it, and I agree with them. Like, it's what the fuck's going on with like Crunchyroll and that stuff like that. It's just like what
it's the same thing that goes on with every website and stuff like that. Once they have these people in them, it just goes downhill.
I guess I get. Do you want me to lead right into my second point before we just cut it there? So, on the topic of both Crunchyroll being like, oh, we've got this really diverse cast, and it's 50% men and 50% women, and it's all women for the writing cast, and I just kind of like stopped and I heard that, and I'm like,
so it's not.
This is the same rhetoric we heard about another product that recently got the shit kicked out of it by the fucking video game community, and then one guy came out staunch defender of it, being Angry Fucking Joe. Oh.
Okay.
No, I like Joe. Let me say this now, and I'll let you do your little rant about Joe because I know you want to rant about him too. Joe, stop. Get some help. Mm-hmm. Go see like a psychiatrist because you're angry. Go talk to like some people who aren't just like these people who are like.
It just so this is all in regards to Battlefield 5 and stuff like that, and
yeah,
my honest opinion on that entire situation is that the game could be the most amazing game ever made, and I'm still not going to buy it because it has EA's name on it.
I don't think I don't
It's
think
like how
anyone's gonna buy
I
that
said
game.
I'm not really interested in Anthem. Like, Anthem, I'm kind of interested in and stuff like that, but everyone's like, well, I don't understand why Jeff's so against like BioWare and stuff like that. It's like, because I've seen BioWare not do the best job in recent years.
BioWare has been lacking as of these past like 2 years, 3 years. Because when Inquisition came out, we were like fucking throwing praise at the ground. We were like kissing its feet, and then Andromeda happened.
I think that
oh.
that Inquisition was the last gasp that BioWare had,
Good.
and
I don't think so. I think what happened with what's going on with BioWare in comparison to EA is that BioWare let itself get led astray, and instead of sitting down and trying to correct itself, it followed the course that it really shouldn't have.
And it's like but I'm interested in Anthem. I hope Anthem's good. I really think that Anthem can be good and stuff like that. It's just that like I look at that game and I see generic art style.
I see generic art style too,
and like
but
I think that's just because I want fucking robot arms that are forged out of hell and forged by like opening a planet's core, and you have to like melt ore.
So you mean you're saying you want Doom?
That's fucking awesome and stuff like that. Like I want like forging like an axe called Stormbreaker and like using ore and like, opening a forge with your bare hands.
Creating this monstrosity of a machine that will help you tame this wild wilderness. I would be up for that too.
I want Bork and Sigtry
just like
sitting there going like, "You're not capable of wielding this weapon," and the main character going, "Well, why am I not capable of wielding this weapon?" And they just say, "Oh, it's simply not ready." And like them going like, well, why is it not ready? Just give me the weapon. It's fine and stuff like that. It certainly looks ready. And they go, no, it's not ready. And it becoming very clear later on in the game that the reason why the weapon wasn't ready was because you weren't ready for it. Like I want stuff like that.
That's another thing. Like I what I want out of a game is a good fun time. I saw the video footage for Cyberpunk 2077, and I'm buying that game straight up. Everyone is now. But then again, I heard what happened with somebody making a post on their site.
I don't think that's a big deal.
No. For me, when I heard about it, I got a giggle out of the post, and then I saw the reaction. I was like, you people are so stupid. You guys aren't even the audience they're going for. Oh my God, fuck off. But the thing is like I'm sitting there like watching the gameplay, and I'm like, this looks fun. This is basically Shadowrun, except actually Cyberpunk instead of Aetherpunk, or well, modern Aetherpunk, I guess. And that's why I'm so excited about it. It's just like yay! Top down RPG in a Cyberpunk universe, and all I've got in the back of my head is basically. Ow, sorry. Is basically like what the fuck. Wow, I'm literally holding the models in my hand right now. Warhammer 40K, like I look at that and it looks like hive, what like an undercity of a hive looks like and acts like, where it's like this kind of like really gritty dark stuff. But it's got comedy in it, where like that kid's playing a fucking VR game. People are getting augmetics to make themselves look more beautiful and stuff like that. And then you suddenly realize that they have no back cavity to their heads and stuff like that. And I'm like, that looks like 40K. And then I'm like, no, it's not 40K. It's something that could be really fun to play. Because 40K. I'm actually just.
Yeah. I honestly think that like. Josh has been very quiet and stuff like that, but like I honestly think that like this recent conversation about diverse in games and stuff like that, those are the games that are failing. And like we talked about this last week and stuff like that about how like Wolfenstein was a game that really didn't do the numbers that we thought it should have done. Like it didn't seem like it did enough. And game journalists really praised that game. And I think that it goes to say something that like the people who are getting annoyed at this game and stuff like that, they're not 100%ing Witcher. They're not
Who really 100% Witcher?
I mean,
that game is like, yeah, you have to put like 100 hours into it just to get like through the main campaign.
Like that game is like fun and stuff like that, and like these are the same people who like don't enjoy fun and stuff like that. These are people that, in my opinion and stuff like that, are great people, individuals and stuff like that, fantastic and stuff like that, but they don't understand their fan base.
They don't understand the community.
Yeah, and they don't understand the community. And to me, it's just like, well, like I understand why, and I get what they're serving and stuff like that. It's just that I'm just tired of it. So it's like, it's like when Joe sat there and went off on these guys and stuff like that. It's like the BioWare plagiarists, or not BioWare, IGN plagiarists. It's like, wow, okay, I guess that this is the reason why these problems exist in this world and stuff like that. I understand Joe's points and stuff like that of like, you shouldn't be boycotting the game. But the reason why I didn't pre-order Battlefront V was because of Battlefront, or Battlefield V was because of Battlefront.
Yeah. I like, you see like how the game plays and stuff like that, and it's like any typical Battlefield.
Yeah, it's like
game.
I have Battlefield 3 and I can play Battlefield 4.
Yeah. But the thing for me is like I'm watching it like the gameplay, how it's been set up and how it's being laid out, and I'm just like, I'm really not interested in it because the gameplay still looks very sloppy to me. But then again, that's because I've just never really liked the gameplay for games like this.
Yeah.
But another thing that I've also noticed is that it feels very, very like, again, they portray this game as like historical accuracy and stuff like that.
And it's not even close.
And it's not even close. And then they try to retcon themselves by saying, oh, it's alternate history. And I'm like, well, then why didn't you say that straight up front? You could have been gone like, yeah, we're going for the historical accuracy with like how the weapons were looked, how the weapons acted, but we're doing an alternate history timeline where it's like
and by that point the damage was done.
But it was already too late. And then they doubled down and did a lot of dumb things, and I just put my hands up and I'm like, I can't defend anything that you say anymore. Please be gone.
It's sad because it's sad because I think that game deserves better, but I also think that game is probably a victim of EA. And if
I don't think it's much as much of that it's a victim of EA. I just think it's just in general.
Let me put it like this: if DICE gets killed after this, this is 100% at EA's feet.
I guess. Yeah.
If like it's like the same thing. If like if BioWare went tits up and stuff like that, I would be very angry. I wouldn't be.
Honestly, when EA collapses, because EA's collapse is inevitable at this point. When EA collapses, BioWare, DICE is an EA, so that doesn't matter.
Who's going to be there to pick up the pieces?
No one.
Yeah.
Microsoft, Sony, Konami, Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one? What's the other big publishing company?
Activision. Okay.
I wouldn't say Activision. I don't think Activision would touch anything out of fucking EA, because Activision has their own problems with Blizzard and BioWare, or Blizzard and Treyarch now.
Anyways, I think that we have enough of a show.
Yeah, it's getting late, and we've bored Josh at this point where I think he's like falling asleep.
Mm-hmm. Josh, you okay?
What? Excuse me.
Are you just playing with your synthesizer?
Stop playing with yourself, Josh.
Yeah, please. Anyways, thank you for listening to the Black Mind Podcast, episode 163. You can listen to us every Thursday on blackmindgames.podbean.com. You can also watch us on YouTube or listen to us on your podcasting app of choice. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Allan, Josh, for helping me host. And have a good night.
Good night, guys. Recording now. But yeah, no, I've heard about the Crunchyroll thing.
You heard about the Crunchyroll thing?
And I heard about the Crunchyroll thing, and I have a very strong opinion about it.
I like Dig Bro's like entire video on it, where he sat there and he said basically like, look, like, I don't understand why you guys don't fix your fucking player and convert it over to HTML5, because Flash is basically being shot out of the sides. And he also went on this massive rant about them. It was just great. Just great.
Wait, I was gonna say Crunchyroll doesn't use HTML5.
No, they use Flash.
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah.
Wow. Do they just have one like stick in the mud programmer or something?
Mm-hmm.
They must have one programmer who's really good at Flash or something.
Here, I'll link to the video and stuff like that. There you go. It's like it's so accurate and stuff like that because he's like honest about it, and it's not political at all. Like he has Rena Scully. He's complaining about like Rena Scully being on there, and it's like Rena Scully is the least of your problems. Like if that's a show you're dedicated, it's like how like Ruby I don't feel should be on Crunchyroll.
I don't know. It's anime enough.
Mm-mm.
Has the look, and that's probably all you need.
Hold on, I'm just changing my monitor.
I don't even think it has the look.
It
Like,
to be fair, the freaking definition of anime is so loose.
oh no, I agree.
I think that it is an anime, but I find it really stupid that it's on your website. Like,
Actually,
when I can just go watch it on roosterteeth.com, YouTube, you know, the people who actually...
Let's think of it this way. Rooster Teeth puts it on other stuff so people can see their other stuff. Kind of like how you play... not you play. Fucking... Ubisoft puts their games on other services because they know other people just won't jump to their service.
except you still need their service to play their game, so I guess...
Yeah, so yeah.
So that's kind of a moot point one.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm still logging through Steam, so I'm not actively going to their shit. They're forcing the shit.
Actually, so on the topic of this, because I do want to talk about it in this podcast real quick. I love the fact that I found out about this anime through Twitter, and I saw 3 people's specific reactions, and none of them were good. Here, Charlie. Here, Charlie. Oh, yeah. Right now, I don't know how I feel about some
Did
of
you
this.
put stuff in the topic list?
No, I haven't.
Put stuff in the topic list.
I should, but I don't know if I want to. Oh God!
What?
Digibro.
We should.
That's that. I knew who you were talking about when you mentioned like Dig Bro, and I'm like, do you mean Digi Bro?
Digi Bro.
I used to watch him. I used to watch him a lot, and I actually really enjoyed it.
I used to watch him religiously.
Oh, Angry Joe.
Oh, Josh,
What the fuck?
Josh, I love how you got me killed in Siege. That was great.
I
assisted in that my own death. I would like to say, dear listener.
I have.
It's a good story behind this.
Fuck. If I can just, I can't even remember what I even did.
Okay,
so.
you had a riot shield. And so I fell off the roof, landed, and so then, like, I was, like, down, like, I died. But I was in the state between death and alive. So Anthony was in the process of reviving me, and then literally, like you're getting shot at with a riot shield. They just aim for you, drag it towards me. You move towards the door, and then you just get both of us killed at the same time. And I'm just sitting there going, "Oh, thanks, Josh. I literally watched you do this."
If anything, it's so much cooperation to the point I'm like, if I actually had more spatial awareness of like who's behind me, I would be more cautious of where I'm going. Like, that's the thing about like with Siege. It's like that's the thing. It's like I'm looking through. I'm kind of looking through a window, and I don't have a sense of where anything is or where people would hide. Like, I just got to play the game over and over and over in order to get a sense of that. In real life, you wouldn't have that. And you could probably just have a weird spidey sense of like, there's going to be someone in this corner.
Yeah. I think that, like, I found it really funny because, like, what you would do is, like, you were doing great and stuff like that. And then, like, we were playing it and John goes, like, "Oh, I'm better than you, Jeff." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay, cool. Fine. Fantastic. I'm stuck at this game." And then, like, I murder, like, through 2 people through smoke and stuff like that. I'm like, "Oh, John, I'm better than you." That's convenient. That game is just so, like, up and down and stuff like that. I feel like I could play it better and stuff like that. I just don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like trying to find the technique of what to do better is so hard.
It feels like I'm going up against people who have played it like 90 hours nonstop, and I'm just like, "Oh, I play it off and on."
Yeah, pretty much. There's no in between. It's either you're finding noobs or you're finding the pros. Like every fucking video game. I got Guacamelee 2. I should have played that.
Okay, Allan's, I'm expecting... Oh, great.
Oh, yeah, you saw my bullshit. Oh, boy. Mine's a heavy topic list this week.
No. Fine.
You don't get to change that one. We get to talk about that. We get to talk about that one briefly because apparently, I follow a guy online called Pointed Commentary, and he like looked over like the discussions of the thing that happened on. I just
like how this is going to be another show where Josh talks only once.
Wait, hold on.
I'm sorry, Josh, but I need to talk about this one.
Joshua.
Actually, if you guys really want me to talk about this really quick,
let's start the show and then let's sync.
We'll get this one done fucking fast.
Okay. I'm going to let's sync and then let's do it.
There, that's my feeling.
Sync in 3, 2, 1.